Hi, I'm John Stevenson, and we're going to talk about an uncomfortable topic, and that is the topic of plagiarism. Thou shalt not plagiarize. And notice the picture in the background. I didn't take that photo, the lightning photo, and so I've given the source at the bottom of the page. It's a website accessed back in 2017 that I took that photo from. The classic example is Melania Trump, the first lady at the time. 2017, she gave a speech, and it wasn't a bad speech, except that there were two sentences in the middle of the speech where she had borrowed word for word from something that her predecessor, Michelle Obama, had said. And if she had cited, if she had said, in the words of my predecessor, and then said those two sentences, echoed them, everyone would have said, "That's a wonderful speech. Look at that." But instead, the only thing anyone could remember was the way she had plagiarized. And so citations are needed. Again, the cartoon isn't mine. I borrowed that from cyberlawcenter.org and giving credit where it is due. Here's a little cartoon I came across. Says, "I like the writing in that paper. I only wish more of it had been yours." And that's a bit how we can feel sometimes as professors when we find a paper where it's not all the students' work. Now, what is plagiarism? Plagiarism is presenting someone else's work as if it were your own, quoting somebody without giving the source, giving an exact quote without using quotation marks. If it's somebody else's quote, you need to put quotation marks and tell where you got it. Giving someone else's idea without attributing the source. Now, if the idea is out there as common knowledge, that's okay. You don't need to do that. But when you're taking somebody's particular idea, then give the credit where it's due. Plagiarism, and here's a definition that I took from dictionary.com unabridged back in 2016, an act or instance of using or closely imitating the language and thoughts of another author without authorization and the representation of that author's work as one's own, as by not crediting the original author. That's dictionary definition. Now, you can have intentional plagiarism, for example, copying even a portion of a paper or a book or an internet article, placing your name on the work of somebody else, or passing along someone else's idea as if it were your own. Although there can also be unintentional plagiarism. You didn't mean to plagiarize, but you gave an exact quote and cited the source. You said where you got it, but you didn't put the quoted part in quotation mark. You didn't mean to plagiarize. You told where you got the quote, but you didn't put it in quotation marks in your writing, and uh, that's still plagiarism. And you can get into trouble even for unintentional plagiarism. Citing the source but failing to give the complete bibliographic data. When you're writing an academic paper, make sure that you not only give the source, but the publication in which it was found, the author, the date of publication, the publisher, all that needs to be involved. It's not plagiarism when you relate something that's common knowledge. If I say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, that's sort of a long time ditty that everybody says. I don't know who said it first, and that's okay. Uh, Properly quoting somebody using quotation marks and giving the source, that's not plagiarism. Now you're actually citing your source. A warning to my students: your paper has to be more than just a bunch of quotes that are strung together. And paraphrasing someone and giving the source, again, that's not plagiarism. You can paraphrase, put it in your own words, but you've given the source, and so it's not plagiarism.